The fourth memorial lecture in honor of late Dr. Olusegun Agagu was held at the Civic Center, Victoria Island, Lagos on Wednesday, 13 September 2017. Children, family, friends as well as top political leaders from far and wide converged to honor the memories of a great man whose footprints have been left in the sands of time. Among the many dignitaries who graced the occasion were the chairman of the occasion, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Nemeka Alfred Achebe, CFR, MNI, who was in the company of some high chiefs from Onisha land. The keynote speaker, His Excellency, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano, former President of the Republic of Mozambique. Grand Patron Olusegun Agagu Foundation, His Excellency, former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR. His Excellency, former Head of State of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Dr. Ernest Shoneko, GCFR. The guest speaker of the occasion, Dr. Kayode Fayemi CON, Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals and Steel Development, was ably represented by his SSA, Mr. Akin Rotimi. Former Governor of Ogun State, Otumba Agbenga Daniel. Former Governor of Osun and Lagos States, Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola. Former IGP, Mr. Musliu Smith. Mrs. Bola Obasanjo. Former Deputy Governor of Ogun State, as well as the wife of the late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, Mrs. Olufunke Agagu, among other important personalities. Late Dr. Olusegun Agagu was born in Okitipupa, Ondo State, on the 16th of February 1948 into the family of Chief Isaac Olorunfemi Agagu and Mrs. Leah Omokbelumi Agagu. His father was a local council chairman in Okitipupa and also the Ojomu of Osoro, the third in the traditional hierarchy of the Osoro kingdom. The young Olusegun grew up in several towns and cities of Nigeria, attending various primary schools in Okitipupa, Kano, and Ibadan. Thereafter, he proceeded to the prestigious Ibadan Grammar School from 1961 to 1967, where he graduated in flying colors. He gained admission into Nigeria's premier university, the University of Ibadan, in 1968, and graduated at the top of his class with a BSc degree in geology in the year 1971. Dr. Olusegun Agagu was elected Deputy Governor of Ondo State and served from January 1992 to November 1993. As the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, the combination of his knowledge as a geologist, resourcefulness, and his untiring efforts led to the state becoming an oil-producing state, a feat that massively expanded the economic base of Ondo State. Dr. Olusegun Agagu passed on the 13th of September 2013. His death came as a massive shock to the nation. Until his demise, Dr. Olusegun Agagu was a loving family man, married to his school sweetheart and dance partner, Mrs. Olufunke Agagu, for more than 39 years. The event, which was anchored by Events Compare Extraordinaire, Chairman and CEO Biscon Communications, Prince Bisi Olatilo, kicked off with the opening prayer in the Christian way, led by Elder Joju Fadairo, while Alhaji Musliu Smith led in the Islamic way. To keep the audience abreast with developments in the Olusegun Agagu Foundation was the daughter of late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, Mrs. Sholakbe Hammond, née Agagu. Mrs. Sholakbe Hammond said the purpose for establishing the Olusegun Agagu Foundation was to immortalize the name and legacy of her late father, which over the years has experienced tremendous progress through contributions of well-wishers of the Agagu family. Mrs. Sholakbe Hammond added that the foundation is committed to further the ideals late Dr. Olusegun Agagu lived by and worked passionately towards, particularly intellectual excellence, good governance, and to actualize his personal credo, which was to leave things better than he met them.
This is the fourth year, as I said before, and we've been wonderfully blessed by all people who have contributed and supported us over the years. The foundation was set up after my father's passing to establish some of his legacies and continue them, and to keep things in the spirit of excellence which he embodied and while he was alive. Some of the achievements. Next slide, please. Yes, it was founded in 2014, as I said, to immortalize his name and legacy, and to live up to his personal credo, which was to leave things better than he met them. Some of the focal areas are academia, geology, as you know, he was a geologist and a petroleum engineer, energy, politics, good governance, and an intervention in aviation. Culture and art, highlight music in particular, and service. And so far, we have, through all of you, been able to raise an average of about 28 million naira every year to do the good work that we've been doing, which is continuing some of the scholarships that he established, as well as establishing new ones. So far, we've done more than 139 awards and prizes. We've done 25 this year alone. Thank you.
The event compere, Prince Bisi Olatilo also took time to eulogize late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, describing him as a man whose good works are worthy of emulating.
However, Agagu was appointed by President Olusegun as his first Minister of Aviation in 1999, and then Minister of Power and Steel Development between 2000 and 2002. Well, let me try and quote the former president. On the 29th of June 2006, President Olusegun commended Governor Agagu for the work he had done leading Ondo State. And this is exactly what he said, quote, "You have taken time to plan. You've also seen that the execution of the plan is now showing results." You know that Baba is not given to, just praising without any genuine reason for that. So he studied him while he didn't know he was being studied, and he got the job meritoriously, and he did his best while he had the opportunity. Your hands together for him again, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm hoping that our politicians are not, all of this is not lost on them, because this man is not here with us again, but we're still here, we're still remembering him. The footprints are there for all of us to try and emulate from.
Thereafter, the audience was treated to a documentary chronicling the life and times of late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, which brought back fond memories of the great man. The chairman of the occasion, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Nemeka Alfred Achebe, in his welcome remarks, appreciated the Agagus for honoring him as the chairman of the occasion, adding that he is privileged to partake and help to sustain the ideals and legacy of the late Dr. Olusegun Agagu. His Royal Majesty Igwe Nemeka Alfred Achebe described late Dr. Olusegun Agagu as a man who reflected the finest of human qualities, adding that his impact on lives will never be forgotten.
We fought a civil war that lasted barely 3 years. Yet, its aftermath has lingered for almost 50 years due to the lack of political courage on the part of our successive national leaders to engender true healing and reconciliation. I may be in trouble for saying this. Today, our country is almost as tense as it was in the days leading up to the Civil War. Sectional sentiments are drowning our sense of nation. The same feeling of marginalization and inequity that were manifest before the Civil War still pervades our body politic. And the nation's fabric is slowly wearing down. The situation is worsened by the current economic recession. There is a sense of hopelessness amongst the masses, particularly the youth, who are easily sold utopia and manipulated by self-acclaimed messiahs whose hate rhetoric merely heightens tension in the polity.
In his address, speaking about the keynote speaker, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano, former president of the Republic of Mozambique, Igwe Nnemeka Achebe said he's certain that he will do justice to the topic and provide practical solutions to the economic challenges of Nigeria, given his wealth of experience in the economy of the Republic of Mozambique as a turnaround expert. He also urged all to stay committed to sustaining the ideals that the late Dr. Olusegun Agagu lived for, so it does not diminish or die.
Our greatest tribute to the memory of this extraordinary leader, Chief Dr. Olusegun Agagu, is to uphold and advance the ideals that he lived by, particularly intellectual excellence, good governance, and national development. I urge everyone to commit to his personal credo, which is to leave things better than he met them. I thank the Olusegun Agagu Foundation for promoting these ideals and for never letting the flame diminish or die. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
The keynote speaker, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano, who spoke on the topic Wealth Creation Through Entrepreneurship in an Economic Recession, discussed extensively on entrepreneurship, adding that this is the only way an economy can thrive. The president also took time to thank former President Olusegun Obasanjo for introducing him to the Olusegun Agagu Foundation and for the opportunity to learn about his good works. Addressing the issue of wealth creation and entrepreneurship, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano said, "Entrepreneurship is important for the sustainable development of any country," adding that the government must give particular attention to small enterprises to enable them play their roles as the major job creators in the country.
In the process of the economic development of our countries, it is expected that an important role is played by the state-owned enterprises. Conceptually, these companies are created to provide goods and services in strategic areas, particularly areas that may not be so attractive to the private sector, or that they have to be provided at affordable cost. These areas include electricity, telecommunications, transport, housing, garbage collection, as well as news, culture, and entertainment. In some countries, these are the largest domestic companies, quasi-monopolies, that gives them great influence. Well run, they can be a source of good corporate governance practices. All this is doable, provided we dedicate our individual and collective efforts to build a better future for our children, for our grandchildren, and us. That's what Dr. Olusegun Agagu did, guided by his credo of leaving things better than he met them. The best homage we can pay to his memory is for each one of us, wherever we are, to take the resolve to leave things better than we met them.
The Honorable Minister, Solid Minerals and Steel Development, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, who was unavoidably absent at the event, was ably represented by Mr. Akin Rotimi, SSA to the Minister at the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. In his address, the Minister commended the family of the departed and the board of the Olusegun Agagu Foundation for establishing a platform that brings to remembrance the values late Dr. Olusegun Agagu epitomized. He said the involvement of decent people like late Dr. Olusegun Agagu in politics was what led the path for many politicians who believed in him, adding that he holds fond memories of his friendship and mentorship, which he holds dear to his heart. He said the topic was apt at this time, considering the economic downturn in the country, which he believes in no time will be an issue of the past. Chief Dr. Ernest Shoneko, in his Goodwill message, commended the Agagus for keeping the legacy of their father, late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, as he urged them not to relent in making sure the Olusegun Agagu Foundation lives to its vision and mission. He also briefly relayed an account of his first interaction with Dr. Olusegun Agagu. He described him as a man of peace, integrity, a born leader, and a man passionate about making a difference. He urged political leaders to emulate the personality of the late Dr. Olusegun Agagu.
There is no arguing the fact that a discourse of this nature is particularly apt and timely, given the current debate and even agitations in different parts of our fatherland. A dialogue of this nature should, in my considered view, afford us the opportunity to make contributions to advancing the national consensus around the key issues. Indeed, an adage in a part of our beloved country puts it in this way: nature, time, and patience are great physicians. Even the Yoruba word, surulere, is intended to highlight how beneficial patience is. A Chinese proverb also says that patience is the knot which secures the seam of victory.
Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, in his Goodwill message, eulogized late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, describing him as someone who left a good legacy worthy of emulating. He thanked all for gracing the occasion as they anticipate the 5th memorial service of late Dr. Olusegun Agagu.
It looks like Segun Agagu is still with us. And indeed, by his action when he was alive, what he did, by his performances in all the areas he touched, Segun Agagu is still with us. I think, for me, all that we have to remember is that we have to live in the hearts and minds of people, so that when we do go, as we will all have to go, it will be as if we are still here with people. Your Excellency, I thank you very much for coming. Thank you for all of you being here. I hope to see you again next year.
The son of the deceased, Mr. Feye Agagu, in the vote of thanks, thanked all for honoring his father, late Dr. Olusegun Agagu. He urged everyone not to relent in donations, adding that whatever form of donation is welcomed by the foundation. He thanked the special guest at the occasion, especially Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, for his unrelenting support and undying love towards the Agagus. The event also featured presentation of plaques of honor to His Royal Majesty Igwe Nemeka Alfred Achebe. It was presented to him by Otumba Gbenga Daniel. Chief Dr. Ernest Shoneko also received a plaque of honor, which was presented to him by Prince Olusegun, while the former president of Mozambique, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano, received his plaque from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Afterwards, the event compere urged all to give a standing ovation to the wife of the deceased, Mrs. Olufunke Agagu. The General Overseer, Trinity House, Pastor Itwai Godalo led in the closing prayer, which was followed by the national anthem, which brought the event to an end. From Beacon Communications, we pray for God's guardians on the Agagus as they continually sustain and celebrate the legacy of their dear father, late Dr. Olusegun Agagu.